Yes, welcome to the 39th IFC program. It's a great pleasure to welcome you all to Norway and here to Bergen. Bergen is a special pleasure for me because I love this town and I don't get to go there too often. So thank you for the opportunity. You have an intense program and I will do this short. I just wanted to take the opportunity to give you some personal remarks on how I see the status of our business use of modern language right now. And I thought I would do that through its three themes that springs to mind when I see where we are and where we stand right now. And the first is conditions. We have colleagues and competitors all over Europe right now that work under yet harsher economical conditions. And as you all know, the long formats is often the ones that get cut down when editorial businesses need to cut down money. In my network of editors around, especially Europe, I feel that a lot of them are not moved, but kind of outmaneuvered. These are good people who love having editorial discussions with their employees, and they're kind of outmaneuvered by general managers who also talk to their employees. They talk to everybody to find good news for the stock market, and that's a different discussion. And to me, it's funny too because truth is that a good feature story, a really excellent good feature story, pays off. Even in the stock market, it pays off everywhere because it moves people. So it's extremely important that we use every occasion we have to fight for the good told story and the best told story. And we really need to do that ourselves. Everybody needs to do that. And to do that, you have to be good. And to be good, you have to go to the IFC. So that's a good reason to be here today. And there's another good reason to be here today, and that's credibility. We live in a world now where everybody goes public. My grandmother goes public with everything. One of the strongest stories I read the last couple of months was a 37-year-old woman from Oslo who told about her childhood. When she was 13, her mother, who was a drug addict, was killed, probably by her stepfather, who then got custody over the child. So she told about her childhood with that stepfather in his custody. It was a very moving story, very strong. It was quite helplessly told because she had written it herself. It was she went public with it on a blog spot that she had for free, which had like 50 followers or something. But then it went widespread on Facebook, and so it came to me. And I started thinking, what does she need us for? What can we offer her? The thing is that it has to be a difference between us and everybody else who goes public these days. And that's the most important of those differences, because there are many, but the most important is credibility. I actually don't know if that story was true. I have no reason to doubt it, but I know there's some strong organization defending abused children's rights here in Norway. They might have placed it there. I have no idea. But what I do know is that we have to defend our credibility. And we are in position to do that. And yet, we act clumsy on that field. The Norwegian broadcast company has had its scandals the last half year or so. The mother of all our broadcasters, BBC, has had some great scandals. We cannot afford to be clumsy in this area. We have to check every detail in our stories. We have to be very thorough on our documentation. We have to be very careful using anonymous sources or anonymizing our cases. And that is our responsibility, and we really have to work hard on that. And not at least we have to keep very warm the debate which arises on editorial, ethical questions. And that is another good reason to go here to the IRC. Please ask people today, how did you manage that source? How did you get that information? How did you know that? Because that journalistic effort, that method, that's what differs us from everybody else who publishes. And the last thing I wanted to say to you is about creativity. Because 5 billion people on Earth today have access to the internet. 5 of 7. And with the internet there has been a lot of new devices. There has been great changes on how people use on media consumption. And we really have to follow up on that. Because if not, we are defending our traditional platforms while the audience is flowing in great numbers to new platforms. They use radio in different ways today, and we have to follow up on that. That we are able now to communicate with our audience even before we go out with a story in so many different ways, and we really have to be creative and use those ways. And we have to make our stories in new ways, and we have to dare to experiment on how we're making our stories. And if we don't do that, the audience will move and we will sit back in our couches and we will be alone in the room. And that's not a good idea. So we really have to make an effort. And nobody is very creative alone. You're creative when you meet other people who have a great competence on what you want to be good at. And that's the third reason of being here today. You have to play. Even here today you have to play. You have to go out in the uncomfortable play zone and make jogging of the mind and really try to invent and think of new ways to both reach your stories, because in a world where everybody produces and everybody goes public, you can't come along with dull stories. Dull stories don't work anymore. We have to have exciting stories. We have to have the really best stories. And to find those, we have to be in contact with the audience all the time. So be playful. Fight your rights, be credible, be thorough, and be playful. And have a great conference, everybody. Thank you.